Hi, it's Zabo1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox One. And today I've got a story for you. I've got no footage of the actual event, though I have got messages from the actual event. The reason for this is because this happened some time ago and I never wanted to, after the way it panned out, I didn't want to name and shame the person involved. Because of the end result, it worked out perfectly, it was so beautifully resolved, and I don't want to bring this person any shame. I understand really from the context of what happened that though what they did was very wrong and they combat logged, I'm actually going to give a lot of leeway and mitigation in this case. And if you don't understand why, then I suggest you stick around and listen, because it was an interesting story. So basically, me, Skullpillion, and Scooby were in Seoul doing our normal Dark Marauder bit. We were pirating people, we were looking to kill bounty hunters, just generally doing what Dark Marauders do when we hang out in Seoul, mostly piracy. And a commander came into the system, we interdicted him, I think I fired a hatch breaker, and he combat logged on me and Skull. So I sent him the message saying, did you crash? And he told me no, he didn't want to fight. So he just didn't want to fight, bro. And I was like, oh, you cheated? And he said, no, I'm just being peaceful. What do you want? And I was blown away by this response, because I was like, he's clearly combat logged. Now, Skullpillion was also communicating with this gentleman as well. And I think we kind of just slipped into good cop, bad cop. Skull was being a lot more conciliatory than me, than I was being a lot more, I don't want to say confrontational, but I wasn't exactly being the good cop here. I was pretty much like, no, you cheated, this is cheating, you shouldn't be doing this. Whereas I think Skull was more measured in his conversation with the gentleman. And between the two of us, somehow, some way, we started to turn this around. Now, if you want to have a deeper read of these screenshots, then I suggest you pause some of them, because they are going to flash by. I'm not going to leave them on screen amazingly long periods of time, but I told him it's an exploit, he shouldn't do it, and it's cheating, and that we're pirates who are just looking to scan him for cargo. He got quite narky with me, and maybe he's been hanging around certain Facebook groups or Discords, because he immediately started calling me toxic, which, maybe my natural toxicity is just shining through again. But yeah, he started calling me toxic. He made all sorts of accusations. It was proper funny, and he started like ranting a little bit. But he was the one swearing at me, saying that I'm a trash person and all that. But he's the one that ultimately pulled the plug and cheated. And ironically, we didn't even really attack him. We were looking to pirate him. But slowly and steadily, we managed to patiently just keep saying the same things. Just talking him around, just explaining why we were saying don't do that. And eventually he started to actually see sense. This never happens. The amount of times I've tried talking to combat loggers, this has never happened before, and I doubt it'll happen since. I did have to show quite a lot of patience, because he's called me a toxic bitch, told me I'm a Fortnite kid, which I thought was really funny. I did play some Fortnite on this channel a long time ago, when it first came out. Wow. Yeah. I was sort of taken aback, and like I said, I just kept calm, kept plugging away, kept pointing out the simple, the basics. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not the one saying it's cheating. The company who make the game say that. And I basically said to him, if you don't want player interaction, you shouldn't really play in open. It's my standard response, and you should play in solo or private group. There are 3 modes, and only one of them has PvP as standard. I mean, unless Pirate Orcs invaded your private group, which can happen, or NTFS. That's a very funny video from Shadow of Raxler, but it's a very wrong thing for them to do. Invading private groups and killing people in private group is kind of wrong, but also I do find it funny, because maybe I'm a bad man, I don't know. I do find that funny, even though it is wrong and naughty, and I told Orc off for doing that. But killing people in private group is not the norm. Pirate groups normally, you know, for PvE. Solo is PvE, and only open is PvP. So obviously, if you don't want combat or meet people in open that will shoot you, then, you know, go to thing. So anyway, I kept saying, you know, we're pirates, there's no need to log. And I think he didn't directly say this, but from the impression I got, that he'd been told basically by other commanders that it's fine to log on griefers, it's fine to log on people who just shoot you for no reason. Which is something I hear quite a lot. There was a guy recently who said that in the Elite Dangerous Club on Xbox, and it was like, interesting, no reason, because last time you logged on me, you were in Cubio and in Aisling Devout colours. Power play is not a reason. So we kept calm, we kept going. It turned out he only had credit for one rebuy, and he panicked a bit, and he didn't want to die, so he combat logged. Now, after explaining to him patiently and carefully, you know, that what he did was cheating, what he did was wrong, and that he should come back and face a rebuy, I was honestly amazed that he did. And bless him, he reappeared, he let me, Scooby and Skull, all three of us, gathered round and killed him. Even though I left him after that with no money for a rebuy. You know, and because he did that, I said to him, you know, come to my carrier in Bidmere and I'm going to give you some credits. Fair play to you. You came, even though you only had money for one rebuy, you came back into open, you let us take that one rebuy. The least I can do is make sure you have some rebuys. He actually, fair play to him, he's obviously seen my videos warning about don't trust certain members of the Dark Marauders. You know, some members are known to be snakes, because he was fairly cautious at this point. And rightly so, because I am an in-game bad guy, and I wouldn't recommend trusting me too much. I'm not the pirate org, but then equally I'm still an in-game bad guy. I still roleplay as a pirate, as a bad guy, and I usually do steal stuff from people. So, you know, I always get surprised when people are like, oh no, I trust you, Oddball, you're very honourable. Honourable to a point. I rob people all the time, and I do murder imps, like, mercilessly, very mercilessly. So yeah, he was a bit concerned that we might kill him, and he was a little bit nervous about that, but he did come back to my carrier, and yeah, he got very apologetic after, you know, he got some credits donated to him, but we explained the situation to him. We explained that combat logging is an unintended exploit and it can be a bannable offence. Not like the FDev ever take action against people who combat log, but in theory you can get banned for it. And I've actually have known of a few cases where it's happened, but these are the sort of people that are completely way over the top. I'd like to see it happen more often. I'd like to see FDev take a harsher stance on it, but that's just my opinion. I was very happy this commander saw sense, saw the light, and, you know, came back into open, took his rebuy like an honourable man. I cut out a lot of our conversation at this point because there's a lot of me saying, buy this, put this, buy this, sell this, buy this, sell this, buy this, sell this, because he didn't have the most cargo space, but we just kept putting the metal alloys in and out of his carrier, and out of ship from my carrier, and eventually I transferred him 200 million credits and sent him on his way. And to say he was over the moon, he was hilariously apologetic, and I gotta say, huge thanks to Skull Punion, because I'm sure his talking to him was what persuaded this guy that combat logging is wrong, you shouldn't do it. And we managed to turn this one combat logger around, get him to come in open, take his rebuy, even though it was only the only one rebuy that he had, and then send him on his way with a couple of 100 million. Lesson learned. And I hope he never combat logs again. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but I'm always happy to give someone a second chance, and I hope that he takes that second chance. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching.